A long time ago, in a quiet part of the galaxy, the people of Alari lived in peace. Their world was beautiful, full of green forests, tall mountains, and blue skies. The Alari were gentle beings, kind and wise. They had no weapons, no armies, and no enemies. For hundreds of years, they shared their knowledge with other peaceful races and helped build the Great Galactic Alliance. But peace never lasts forever. One cold evening, the sky above Ilari Prime turned red. Huge black ships appeared in the sky, casting long shadows over the cities. The Karg Dominion had arrived. They were not like the Ilari. They were monsters, with metal claws, glowing red eyes, and no mercy. The Karg did not speak. They attacked without warning. Buildings fell, fires spread, and the screams of the innocent filled the air. The Ilari tried to send a message to the Galactic Alliance. They begged for help. They cried into the stars, "Please, someone, help us!" But no answer came. The Karg kept destroying. Every day, more cities were lost. Every night, the sky burned brighter. Far away, in the Galactic Council, the leaders of many powerful races watched the messages from Ilari Prime. They saw the burning skies, the destroyed homes, and the faces of dying children. But they did nothing. The Karg Dominion was too strong. No one wanted to face them. They turned off their screens and closed their meetings with silence. In the deep mountains of Ilari Prime, an old Ilari elder sat in a quiet temple. He looked at the stars and whispered an old name, a name that had not been spoken in many years. Humans. The young Ilari around him were shocked. Humans? But they are gone. The stories say they left the galaxy. The elder nodded slowly. Yes. They were called Deathworlders. They came from a world where everything tried to kill them. They were strong, fast, and smarter than anyone else. The galaxy feared them, but they also respected them. But why did they leave? One young Ilari asked. They left because the galaxy was afraid of them, the elder said. After the last war, the council told them to go. They said humans were too dangerous. Silence filled the temple. The old Ilari stood up with great effort and looked at the stars again. "Send a message," he said, "to Earth." But Earth is silent. "Still," he replied, "try." In a hidden lab under the last working city, a group of scientists worked all night. They used the last of their power to send a signal. It was short, simple, and full of pain. "To the humans, if you can hear us, we need you. They are killing us all. Please, help us." The message left the planet and flew across space, past stars and dead worlds, across nebulae and black holes. Most thought no one would ever hear it. Even the Ilari scientists had little hope. But far, far away, on a quiet blue world, a machine beeped. In a deep underground bunker on Earth, a long-range signal scanner picked up something strange. A young human technician looked at the screen and called his superior. "Sir, you need to see this." The message played. The room fell silent. The voice was soft, broken, and full of fear. "They are killing us all. Please, help us." The message repeated again and again. A tall man with gray hair and sharp eyes walked into the room. General Cade, leader of Earth's Defense Command, listened carefully. "Where did this come from?" he asked. "Ilari Prime," the technician replied. "We thought that system was lost." General Cade stared at the screen. He remembered stories from his youth, stories of how the galaxy pushed humans away, how they were told to disappear. Earth had turned inward, focusing on itself for hundreds of years. The stars had become quiet. But now, someone was calling again. General Cade turned to his officers. "Wake the High Council. Get me the old files. I want to know everything about the Ilari and the Karg," He walked to a window and looked at the sky above Earth. For years they had been silent. For years they had watched. But now, someone needed them. And humanity never ignored a cry for help. Far above in orbit, giant space stations began to wake. Old codes were activated. Factories started working again. And deep under the oceans, something ancient opened its eyes for the first time in centuries. The Deathworlders were listening. The stars would never be the same again. For 250 years, Earth had been silent. After the Great Wars and betrayal by the Galactic Council, humans closed their gates to the stars. They left the galaxy behind and disappeared into their own corner of space. Many thought they had gone extinct. Others believed they were hiding, growing stronger. Both were correct. Deep under the mountains of New Antarctica, inside a massive bunker known as Fort Sol, the signal from Alari Prime kept playing on a loop. "They're killing us all! Please, help us!" In the command room, red lights flashed. Dozens of officers moved quickly, checking systems, running scans. The signal was old technology, not used by humans in a long time. But it was clear. An AI voice spoke. "Origin confirmed. Alari Prime. Message recorded 37 hours ago. Situation critical." General Cade entered the room. His dark uniform was heavy with metals, but his face showed no pride, only focus. He watched the message again, in silence. Then he said just one word. "They're back." The officers looked at him. "Who, sir?" asked Commander Rios. "The Karg," Cade replied. "I remember the name from the old files. We warned the galaxy about them centuries ago, but they didn't listen, and now they're begging us to come back." He turned to the screen. "Patch this to the High Council. All of them." Minutes later, in a tall glass building above the clouds, the human High Council met for the first time in years. 10 of the most powerful minds on Earth gathered in silence. General Cade showed them the message. As it ended, no one spoke for a while. "They betrayed us," one counselor said. "Why should we help them now?" Cade replied calmly. "Because it's who we are. Because if we let this go, the Karg won't stop. They never do. And because the galaxy still doesn't understand what a death world really means." Another counselor, an old woman with silver eyes, nodded slowly. "Are we ready?" Cade smiled faintly. "We were born ready." At that moment, Earth's defense network came online for the first time in 200 years. Giant warships hidden in deep orbit powered up. Nanofactories lit up across the planet. New orders were sent to the orbital human legion, an elite force trained, in silence, waiting for the day they would be needed again. In a hidden base on Mars, soldiers in black armor stood at attention. A voice echoed through the speakers. "Stand by for Operation Return." Somewhere beneath the Pacific Ocean, a massive ship began to rise. The Iron Will, Earth's oldest and strongest warship, once feared across the stars. Meanwhile, in the dark, a message was sent back toward Alari space. Just one sentence. "Help is on the way." The Alari had no idea what was coming. The Karg had no idea what they had awakened. And the galaxy was about to remember. Why you never call for Deathworlders, unless you're truly ready. Space was quiet. Above the silent stars of Alari Prime, only wreckage floated. The once beautiful planet was now covered in black smoke, ruined cities, and fire. The Alari people hid underground. Their power was almost gone. Food was running out. No ships had arrived, and the Karg were still there, hunting, destroying, laughing. But then, something changed. One morning, the sky over Alari Prime turned bright. It was not the fire of the Karg, it was something else. Huge shadows in orbit. Metallic beasts of war, ships shaped like blades, silent, massive, and cold. The first to notice was a young Alari girl named Nala. She looked up from the cave entrance and whispered, "They came." The Alari leaders rushed to their scanners. The readings made no sense. Hundreds of unknown ships had jumped into orbit. Every single one was human-made. The Deathworlders had returned. In orbit, Earth's fleet moved into formation. Each ship had a name carved in steel: Iron Will, Grave Whisper, Red Dawn, Vengeance Protocol. On the bridge of the Iron Will, General Cade stood in silence. He stared down at Alari Prime, his face calm. "Status?" he asked. His AI assistant replied, "Enemy forces, 36 Karg destroyers, 12 heavy carriers, 3 dreadnoughts. Surface, hostile presence confirmed. Civilian population at 18%. All targets locked." Cade nodded. "Begin Operation Thunderfall." Across the fleet, human warriors prepared. The orbital human legion was ready. These soldiers were born and trained on Earth, the deadliest death world in the known galaxy. Their suits were black. Their helmets showed no face. Each carried weapons, never seen before by the rest of the galaxy. The drop began. Thousands of human pods fell from orbit like raining fire. The Karg looked up, and for the first time in centuries, they hesitated. When the pods hit the ground, the Earth shook. From each pod stepped a Deathworlder. The first human stepped out into the ruins of an Alari city. He looked around, then activated his comm. "Zone Alpha cleared. Begin sweep. No mercy." The battle started fast. Karg soldiers opened fire, but their bullets bounced off human armor. Human rifles glowed red. One shot took out 3 enemies. The Karg screamed, but they were being pushed back. An Alari boy hiding in the rubble looked up and saw a towering human soldier. The soldier turned, looked at him, and knelt down. The boy whispered, "Are you angels?" The soldier smiled under his helmet. "No, we're from Earth." Above, Karg ships tried to escape, but Earth's fleet was already in motion. Missiles, lasers, stealth drones, AI-guided railguns. One by one, Karg ships exploded in orbit. The stars lit up with fire. In under 15 minutes, the Karg lost 40% of their way forces. In 30 minutes, humans took back 3 cities. In 1 hour, the Karg fled Alari Prime. But the war was not over. Back on the Iron Will, General Cade watched the enemy run. "Let them go," he said. "We want them to tell the others that humanity is back." And somewhere deep in Karg space, the enemy screamed in fear. The galaxy had called for help, and the Deathworlders had answered. The Karg were not used to fear. They were conquerors, monsters, killers of planets, but now they were afraid. News of the battle on Alari Prime spread fast across the Karg Dominion. Entire fleets destroyed. Ground armies wiped out in minutes. Their commanders dead, their dreadnoughts turned to fire. By who? Humans. The name returned like a ghost from the past. Karg warriors whispered it in fear. Deathworlders. The Karg High Lord, Vartek, sat in his war throne watching the battle footage. He saw armored humans tearing through Karg lines like they were made of paper. He saw ships falling from the sky, cities retaken, and his soldiers begging to retreat. He crushed the screen in rage. "Send the full fleet," he growled. "Earth will burn." But back on Alari Prime, humans were just getting started. In the skies above the planet, Earth's fleet held strong. Advanced sensors scanned the stars. AI battle mines controlled space drones and turrets with machine precision. General Cade stood on the bridge of the Iron Will, eyes locked on the data stream. "How many civilians rescued?" "Over 3 million Ilari and rising," the AI replied. "No casualties on our side." Cade nodded. "Send medical teams, rebuild comm towers, show them we're not just weapons." On the ground, human engineers worked side by side with the Ilari. They gave out food, water, and medicine. Children followed the giant soldiers, laughing for the first time in weeks. One young Ilari girl held the hand of a tall human soldier. "You came for us," she said. The soldier knelt down and replied, "Of course, we never ignore a cry for help." But then, alarms rang. Incoming warp signatures. Dozens. No, hundreds. The Karg retaliation fleet had arrived. Massive ships, some larger than cities, jumped into orbit around Alari Prime. The sky turned black again. The stars disappeared. The AI voice on the Iron Will said, "Enemy fleet 172 ships. Flagship detected. Threat level, maximum." For the first time, even Earth's officers went quiet. General Cade's face hardened. So, they brought the whole family. He tapped the command console. "Get ready. Alert all captains. This is no longer a rescue mission. This is war." In orbit, the Karg opened fire. Bright energy beams screamed through space. The battle began. Human ships twisted through. Space with deadly speed. Earth's AI-controlled fighters moved like ghosts, dodging, striking, vanishing. Karg ships were powerful, but they were slow, predictable. Earth's warships danced through their formations, slicing them apart. But the Karg had numbers, and they were not afraid to die. One human scout ship was hit. It exploded in silence. The names of the crew appeared on the Iron Will's wall of honor. General Cade stared at the screen. "We will not lose another." Then he sent a private message to Earth. One line. "Activate Project Leviathan." Back on Earth, far beneath the oceans, something ancient woke up. A weapon humanity had never needed before. Something built in secret. Something the galaxy thought was only a myth. And it was on its way. As the Karg flagship charged its main cannon, preparing to fire on Alari Prime, a voice rang through their comms. A human voice. Cold. Calm. Final. "This world is under our protection. Leave now, or be erased." The Karg laughed. They should not have. The Karg Dominion flagship charged its main cannon. The energy core inside the ship glowed red, ready to fire a blast strong enough to vaporize a continent. Alari Prime stood helpless below. The civilians were still being rescued. Human forces were still fighting on the ground. General Cade watched the countdown on the screen. Seconds. 8. Then the stars moved. Not a ship. Not a fleet. A shadow. Something massive dropped out of warp behind the Karg armada. So large it blocked out 3 moons. The Karg sensors went crazy. Their scanners failed. Their AIs froze. It was Project Leviathan. A ship? No. A beast of steel and code. A war machine, as big as a city, shaped like a giant armored serpent with wings that folded across the stars, built in secret for a war that never came, until now. Humanity's final weapon. The Karg flagship tried to lock on, but it was too late. Leviathan opened its core. From its mouth, a beam of pure white energy fired across space, silent and clean. It hit the Karg flagship dead center. The flagship cracked like glass, and then it vanished. One shot, gone. The Karg fleet panicked. On the Iron Will, General Cade gave the order. "Leviathan has the sky. We take the rest. All across space, human." Ships moved as one. New tech activated. Stealth torpedoes, gravity breakers, nanomines. Karg cruisers tried to retreat, but Earth's AI drones followed them like shadows. One by one, Karg ships exploded. On the ground, the battle was still raging. Karg warriors fought like beasts. But the orbital human legion had something more. Unity. Each squad moved with perfect coordination. Human soldiers leaped across buildings, slid under blasts, fired back with deadly accuracy. In Sector 4, a Karg war beast roared and charged, but a human mech suit caught it mid-air and crushed it. The Alari, watching from their shelters, couldn't believe it. A young Ilari boy turned to his mother and said, "They fight like gods." But they were not gods. They were humans. And they were angry. Meanwhile, on the edge of the Karg fleet, the enemy's last dreadnought tried to escape into warp, but just before it could vanish, Leviathan moved again. Its tail swung like a blade and cut the dreadnought in half. Silence followed. In less than 1 hour, the entire Karg armada was destroyed. On Ilari Prime, cheers rose from the ground. The people came out of hiding. They hugged. The human soldiers. Some cried. Others knelt. But the humans said one thing. Stand up. We're just doing what's right. Later, General Cade sent a message to the Galactic Council. It was short. The Ilari are safe. The Karg are broken. Earth has returned. Choose your side carefully. The galaxy heard the message, and it trembled. The war on Ilari Prime was over, but peace had not come. Across the stars, news spread like fire. The Deathworlders are back. The Karg fleet is gone. Project Leviathan is real. Worlds across the galaxy celebrated the fall of the Karg. Billions cheered for humanity. The Ilari shared videos of human soldiers saving children, rebuilding cities, and stopping the war. But not everyone was happy. In the shining halls of the Galactic Council, fear grew. The Council had once betrayed Earth, cut ties, banned trade, left humanity alone after the old wars. They thought humans were broken, lost, gone. Now Earth had returned, stronger, smarter, deadlier, and with a weapon that could erase entire fleets. Councillor Trell, a tall, blue-skinned diplomat from the Vari race, stood in the center of the council. Chamber. He slammed his hand on the table. This is dangerous! We cannot allow Earth to operate without limits. They destroyed 172 Karg warships in 1 hour. Another councillor, old and wise, replied softly, Yes, but the Karg started this. They attacked Ilari Prime. Earth only responded. Trell shouted, Responded? They unleashed Leviathan. That ship could destroy entire planets. A third voice interrupted. Maybe we should not have turned our backs on them, said Councillor Salon, one of the few who had voted against the Earth ban years ago. We feared them, and now we need them. The chamber fell silent. Meanwhile, back on Earth, General Cade stood before the United Human High Council. Behind him, giant screens showed scenes from the Ilari War. The galaxy remembers us now, he said, but they still don't trust us. They fear us, and soon they'll come with questions, maybe even weapons. A councillor asked, Should we prepare for war again? Cade shook his head. No, we prepare for truth. It's time they learn what really happened 250 years ago. He looked out the window at the stars. It's time we show them why humanity became what it is today. Later that day, Earth sent a message to the Galactic Council. It was direct. We saved Ilari Prime. We destroyed the Karg fleet. We want no reward, but we want truth. We demand the Council release all classified files on the old war, including the betrayal of Earth. The message spread everywhere. Galactic news channels debated for days. Some called Earth heroes, others called them monsters. A few demanded Leviathan be banned. But deep down, everyone asked the same question. What happened 250 years ago that turned humans into Deathworlders? At the edge of known space, hidden in the ruins of an old battlefield, something ancient stirred. A signal long forgotten activated. A shadow much older and far more dangerous than the Karg had heard Earth's return, and it was waking up. For 250 years, the galaxy believed Earth had fallen. They said humans were violent, dangerous, unstable. The Galactic Council had erased records, blocked communication, and left humanity behind after the old war. But they never told the full story. Now, Earth had returned, stronger, smarter, more united than ever, and they had only one demand: tell the truth. Under pressure from 100 worlds, the Council finally gave in. They released the classified files, and the galaxy watched in silence. The truth unfolded 2 centuries ago. Earth had discovered a growing alien threat, a powerful ancient race known as the Varnics. The Varnics were not just invaders. They consumed stars, destroyed civilizations, and erased entire species without warning. Earth warned the Council, but the Council didn't listen. Instead, they feared humanity's aggressive nature and accused them of creating the Varnics' threat to gain power, so they banned Earth, cut all alliances, and left them to fight alone. But Earth didn't die. They adapted. They built stronger weapons, faster ships, smarter AIs. They became something the galaxy had never seen before, Deathworlders, survivors of their own harsh world, now forged by betrayal and war, and they won. The Varnics disappeared, but at a cost. Billions of humans lost, cities burned, Earth scarred, forever. Now the galaxy finally saw the truth. Humanity wasn't dangerous by nature. They became dangerous because they had to survive, and just as the final files were released, a new message echoed across deep space. A signal. Cold, old, familiar. We have returned. The Varnics were alive, and they had learned. No longer mindless beasts, they now controlled ships, languages, AI. From the edge of the galaxy, thousands of black vessels moved. Star Eaters. They destroyed colonies in minutes. No survivors. No messages. Just silence. The Galactic Council panicked. Planets screamed for help. Fleets rushed to prepare. Old enemies tried to form new alliances, but one signal cut through the chaos. From Earth. General Cade stood before a massive display, Leviathan behind him, the full human fleet ready for battle. His message was simple. You left us once. Don't make that mistake again. We don't want control. We don't want power. We want peace. But we will protect every world that calls for help. This time, we fight together. One by one, planets responded. Old enemies, old allies, even council members. They sent one word, I. The largest fleet in galactic history formed behind Earth's banner, and as the Varnics fleet approached, humanity stood at the front. Not as monsters, not as weapons, but as the shield of the galaxy. Because when death came again, only the Deathworlders were ready.